Start your computations.
Everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Han, and today Plant Diary is the update video of my Monstera Albo Propagation. This was one of my wishlist plants of 2023. I always have been dreaming to have this plant since I was started to have an interest about the plant. I found it Albo prices like compared to 2 years ago or just 1 year ago. I think it was significantly dropped. I don't know, maybe the seller that I purchased, she was selling cheaper. I think the price was quite reasonable, so that's why I purchased it at the time. Even though I have been growing Thai constellations and then I've been growing a couple of variegated plants, I heard from community that actually Monstera Albo Propagation is a little bit more trickier than Thai constellation. So that kind of information was making me worrying about growing this plant. So when I got this plant, I was just letting it for a week to about 10 days to make it adjustable in place. After I saw it was still performing pretty well, I decided to cut and propagate just for the experiment, and also at the same time I want my plant to become fuller. And the intro was quite long, but that one was what I have been going through. And now it has been about a month, so I was thinking it's pretty good idea to bring this plant and update how it goes. Let me talk about the cutting propagation first. These are the cuttings that I've been propagating. It's like one is tip cutting, the other two is stem cutting. The tip cutting is literally for the cuttings that is at the end, like literally the top of the stem is called tip cutting, and just stem cutting is like just below those cutting, like between it containing 1 to 2 nodes, and then like between the nodes cutting is called stem cutting. The big difference between the stem cutting and then tip cutting would be, tip cutting is more like the foliage can be continuously emerging from existing foliage, so it has higher chance to unfurling like bigger and bigger. But on the other hand, the stem cutting is like, since it has to generate a new shoot from the node, so it's kind of starting from beginning. So the size is starting from small, but there's another chance that you can have really proper form of plant from there. Anyway, both of the cuttings, the way of propagation is pretty much same. You can do either water propagation or in a leca, or we can do in a potting mix too. But for me, based on my experience, always when I do propagation, if I do on water, it's kind of helping it to rooting easily and kind of minimizing the damage too, as far as I'm changing the water without forget. Yes, I was keeping every cutting in the same jar, but then whenever I change the water and stuff, I found it's kind of uncomfortable. Also with the extension of the experiment, I put one cutting in a leca. So every cutting is like, at the moment, if you see it like that, like it has been extending the new root. But except for that, I don't see really have new change on the node. I mean, it doesn't seem like having any shoot at the moment. On a tip cutting as well, like I can see it's like making small root, but also at the same time doesn't have any emerging. And in a leca wise, it's nothing really significant different after months. I can see it has been extending new shoot, but that's pretty much it. So yes, so for the water propagation is, unfortunately there wasn't much big difference. I mean, I still think it's pretty good because like nothing is rotted even though sometimes I forgot to change water for 4 days, I guess. When I think of those things, it is still very good things that unless I didn't lose the plant, and it was still a little bit cold weather, so that's why I'm guessing it really wasn't really like actively growing. So these are the cuttings status at the moment, and let me bring the other one that I was doing experiment. The original plant that I got, I just keep in a leca. Even though I knew that if I cut it, it will have a new shoot. It can help it to make it more fuller, but then when it's really having a new shoot like this, I'm so happy. I mean, it's just my expectation that it really happened. So it was made me so exciting. So this is the most positive result, I would say. Like, even though it was winter, but like it was still growing new shoot. And then yeah, I think if I just grow where it's just as it is, it's gonna become fuller later. How I care is pretty much the same. Even when I got it, it was like already has a like kind of, how to say, that green thingy, the green thingy, like moss thingy. I don't, there's a specific term for referring them, but like generally it's really doesn't, as far as I know, it's not really helpful for the plant, because even if we keep in the plant in water for long, and if you don't do anything, then it's becoming green. Generally, it's being happen because the reaction of it's touching with the foliage a lot. But anyway, it's like kind of affecting the roots to be rotting. So it's not really good for plant. So whenever I'm trying to water, instead of just pouring on a saucer, I put entirely everything outside and then give a shower. So all the fresh water can go through. And then intentionally keep it in the saucer so the fresh water can sit for a while, and then remove every water and then try to pour it again. In that way, I just trying to keep like supplying the clean water. So for this plant, actually compared to other two, I get fertilizer for this one, just because this plant was, when I brought it, it was already have a rooted a lot, and I don't see any problem for giving a fertilizer. So I know generally for the leca we use the liquid fertilizer for giving, but I thought why not to give a slow fertilizer. So I placed a couple of more fertilizer, and then doesn't show any bad reaction at all, honestly. And the last update is this propagation. I mean, this propagation is also of stem cutting, but I was just doing it because I have extra nodes. This cutting didn't have any foliage earlier. I put in a sphagnum moss in a pot and I'm trying to keep it moist. In the beginning, I tried to put the lid on because like some YouTuber or some Instagrammer was putting this one in a moist moss and then put the clean wrap on top, so in that way it can preserving the like moist. But when I did it a couple of days, I found it from one is kind of rotting. It was actually turning to black, and then now it's very crunchy. I think it's dead now. There's no point that me keeping it this one anymore. I guess that's what I think. I saw it's gonna be too much moist, so that's why from that time I removed the lid. But instead I just try to make the sphagnum moss slightly moist. Maybe that's why like this is still thriving, the other one. The two nodes, both of them is still okay, looks. Even though there's no big difference compared to earlier, I don't see any. Maybe it has been grown root, but honestly, with this situation, I can't really check. So yes, that's pretty much everything for this time updates. I mean, with this time Arbo, except for the one, there wasn't much big progress, I'll say, in 1 month. But I'm still very happy about the fact that the Arbo plant is actually performing pretty okay in my place. And yeah, I thought like really need a humidifier, and then for that keeping the variegation, like I was worrying about everything's gonna be turned black and then it's gonna be looks ugly. But then literally what I'm doing is I'm just putting in it's bright but has a little bit of distance from the window so it can get maximize the light. And except for that, like just watering for this one, I water like once in 5 days to keep fresh water. The other one is, and it's trying to change the water for once in 4 days. Yeah, that was pretty much everything. So I'm pretty much happy about that. Those plants is actually growing pretty okay at my place. That means another month later, I can expect to have a more beautiful growing. So yes, that's pretty much everything for today's video. Thank you for watching, and then probably on next update, depends on how they perform. Maybe I'm gonna try to transfer to soil, or I will do something different. Alright, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you want to see my plants progress or more often, then you can follow my Instagram or YouTube. In that way, whenever I update the short, you can check it out. Alright, then thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.